Hello and welcome. I'm Steve from the business firm, and today we're going to discuss the importance of a sound fundraising strategy. In this video, we're going to be looking at what that comprises and the way to do it in such a way that minimises risk and maximises income. So what is a sound fundraising strategy? What does it look like, and how can it minimise risk and maximise income for a non-profit organisation? Well, a good fundraising strategy is one where there's diversity of revenue risk, one that doesn't rely on one or even two sources of income only. Because any organisation, even a commercial business in which only has one product or one line of revenue, is obviously at risk. So in the non-profit world, there's no difference. It's exactly the same. You must diversify risk. So how do we look at setting up multiple income streams? Well, this is one of the services that the business firm provides to our clients. We have a large number of non-profit organisations and professional associations that aren't strictly commercial organisations, but obviously need money nonetheless to operate and to provide benefits to their members and the people that they serve. So what we do, we look at the organisation and we assess a myriad of opportunities that exist for it in which it can create or derive income in a way that's obviously meaningful and that suits its agenda and suits its context. Some of those revenue streams are a little bit more old-fashioned, and some of them are newer, but they're all good and they all need to be looked at. So let's have a look at what some of those revenue streams are. So different revenue streams have different strengths and different weaknesses, and each needs to be assessed on its merits as they fit within the total revenue mix for the organisation. So let's have a look at some of them. So direct sales to the public is one. Now most organisations already do this, either in the forms of a product that they may sell or a service that they deliver, or even they may even have a small shop, an op shop or a little cafe, a coffee shop, something along those lines. But the point is that there's some form of value that's exchanged, and that value is exchanged, that transaction happens with the public at large. Then another form of income obviously for non-profits are donations. In particular, donations that are in memoriam, donations in lieu of flowers at funerals, for example. Most often this is popular or more common in non-profits that are around a particular disease group. For example, the Heart Foundation, the Cancer Foundation, cystic fibrosis, so on and so forth. There's obviously a membership, and there are inevitably going to be people in that membership and in that community that die. And quite often, particularly in the last 10 years, families often express their desire that rather than give flowers that are going to go off, that people instead donate to the charity of their choice, or to a club of their choice, or some sort of cause. So that's one item that can be used by most organisations. Of course, then there's sponsorships, and sponsorships can be quite powerful because they offer the opportunity to partner with commercial entities, and commercial entities are often looking forward to opportunities where they can align themselves with good non-profit causes, because to a commercial entity they can do traditional advertising, but traditional advertising doesn't come across in the same way. It doesn't have the same level of credibility and authenticity as a sponsorship does for a worthy cause, particularly when that cause is in alignment with the target market of that organisation. And please have a look. There's a full video that I've done on the Business Firm YouTube channel, and it's entirely around sponsorship and goes into some depth. So have a look at that video. Another one that is again quite common with memberships, particularly those where there may be a health related or health or disease group or ageing, and that's where you ask for bequests. And what bequests are is where a family, a member, a donor will donate part or maybe even all of their estate after they pass away. So obviously if a bequest were to happen, that could be significant money. You know, particularly in Australia, property is very expensive. But they're obviously not happening every day. So you and it's a long-term thing. So bequests are very good, and that's something that you just work on in the medium to long term by cultivating your community and letting them know that you do accept bequests, and you have a service set up where you can help people accommodate for that in their will. Now, most organisations, non-profit organisations, have a reasonable sized membership, and within that membership there's obviously plenty of opportunity and scope to sell products into the membership. And the best products to sell are those that are repeat sale products, consumable products of one type or another, or ones that are necessary, for life. For example, utilities, or foodstuffs, or insurances, or any number of things where you don't necessarily have to provide the service yourself, but you can partner with another firm, an organisation, a gas company, a food company, delivery, groceries, whatever it may be, and offer incentives for your membership to purchase the goods that they would otherwise purchase for themselves in their households or within their business. Purchase them from your organisation and support the organisation in that same way. Part of the thing around the membership sales is you must have a very good CRM, a customer relationship management system, a good database, and I'll get to that in a moment. We'll discuss that a little bit further, but that's integral in being able to manage and set up a good membership sales thing. And some other examples include wine. Wine's a popular one, particularly in Australia and other countries in Europe where people enjoy their wine. A dozen wine is a significant sale of maybe a few $100s, of which an organisation may be able to make a 40, 30, 50% gross margin on that. So it's a reasonable a reasonable endeavour for a non-profit, especially given that it's a consumable product. Subscriptions are another obvious one, And subscriptions exist wherever there are members or wherever there are products being sold on an ongoing basis, either online or in real life. But subscriptions are one of the things where not only can it be a revenue stream, but it's also a way for the non-profit to express to the public at large, to its membership, put a figure, some sort of a figure around the value of that membership. So if you're able to create a membership that comes across as valuable, that comes across as worthwhile, definitely worthwhile for your members, for new members, for any potential market, then memberships are something that a lot of organisations should look at. Another area are monthly giving programs, and this is a program where you set up where people commit to a monthly donation, and that monthly donation automatically happens every month by FPOS. So it will electronically just be deducted from their account or their credit card, and it may be $6, it may be $60, it could be $100, it could be $20, whatever the case may be. A good example of this are international aid agencies, and many families they choose to donate a certain amount of money, whatever it may be, $30 a month perhaps, and those $30 a month are automatically deducted, and I know that $30 goes to help towards education or housing for an unfortunate family in Africa, for example. That's just one example, but you can create monthly giving programs for a lot of things, for scholarships, for environmental pursuits, for education, to help create movies, anything you like. The point is that it's something that for the donor that they decide to be part of, and it's a set and forget. It just happens automatically, and they don't have to think about it or take any action themselves. Once they've signed up, it just happens automatically for them, and it's a good, even revenue stream for a non-profit, and it can be quite reliable, and you can build it up over time. Another type of fundraising program is what's called a capital drive, and this is more of a long-term thing where, for example, an organisation may want to build a new building or need to buy a large piece of equipment that's very, these are expensive items. They could be millions of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars, many thousands of dollars. It's all relative, but they are large acquisitions that tend to be they're non-consumable items. They're usually things like hospital equipment or buildings or large plant of one type or another. And these are done over time. So you may do a capital drive that goes for 2 years, 5 years, 12 months to build a new nursing home, or to create a new wing in a hospital, or to fit out new computers through a high school. Whatever the case may be, a capital drive is an opportunity in which the general public, plus your own members, plus people that you approach in the community, business people, people that you target, you go to them and you build slowly a fund that grows over time, that money is used towards a specific purpose. And often with capital drives, especially if they're building related, or they lead towards an outcome such as a cure or a foundation being set up, or some sort of larger philanthropic achievement. Often what you can sell along with that are naming rights. Naming rights for a new stadium, naming rights for a new building, naming rights for some sort of a milestone or landmark type, some sort of a landmark, something that is notable and is particularly likely to get media attention. It's a good idea to try and package up some naming rights to go along with that too. Next, of course, are events, and events are usually a very important part of your fundraising mix, because events not only can raise money, but they bring people together. And when you bring people together, you got PR, you got public relations, you get to press the flesh of the people that you're talking to, you get to invite press, you can involve media, you can bring in business people. So there's a strong networking element in that, and from that you can obviously tie in some of your larger things like your capital drives, your monthly giving programs. And events, because they're a human activity, because they happen in real time with real people, and often they repeat on a yearly basis perhaps, such as a ball, they can actually become part of the social calendar for your members and even for society at large. The Red Cross here in Australia holds a ball every year called, I'm not sure, I think they may have just finished holding these now, but they ran it for 20 years. They were very successful. It was called the Desperate and Dateless Ball, and what it was a large get-together, very large get-together nightclub type event for singles, and that ran for many years and was very, very successful. So events should be definitely part of every organisation's revenue mix, as part of their fundraising strategy, and events should be different. Each event should be different. So you should have events that are more corporate based, community based, ones that are more glitzy, ones that are a bit more grassroots, so that each event is actually allowing you to touch with different parts of your publics, different target markets, if you will, with sponsors, with media, so on and so forth. So use your events strategically to build community, to build network, and to build revenue from different types of pockets.